Good morning. If you will, turn to your Bibles to Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5. But we're not going to read it yet. I'd like to tell you a story. See, I'm on a football team, and my team wins a lot. And we're not used to losing, so when we lose, the team takes it really hard. And one night, our team lost, and I was walking back to the locker room, and I was walking back. A kid told me, I don't know why you're talking. Stop talking, you just lost. So I just ignore him, and I keep moving on. And we get in the locker room, and I'm taking all my stuff off. And my friend's like, you just got flagged. You almost got flagged. And I start explaining it. And the same kid goes, be quiet. I don't know why you're talking when you just lost. So me, being me, I turned around and said something back, and words were exchanged, and tensions got high, to the point where the kid balled his fist up and struck me across my face. And I just stood there. I tried to keep my cool. I stood there, and I let him do it. And after, it didn't really hit me, but after, I couldn't really do anything with my mouth. I didn't eat for 2 days. I couldn't eat or drink. And I went to the hospital, and I had a bruised jaw. So the coach finds out that the kid hit me. And he said, we're going to deal with it. Don't worry. We're not going to let it slide. And I told Coach, I said, you know what? If you can do whatever you want, but just let him know I still love him. So practice goes on by, and the kid comes up to me, and he gives me a hug. And I say, it's okay. I love you. And I thought that was the end of it. And then a couple weeks ago, one of my teammates was telling me I wasn't a man. And I was like, what do you mean? He said a real man would have hit that kid back. And practice ended, and I walked away, and one person came up to me. And he was like, don't worry about it. But why didn't you hit him back? And only one person came to mind, and only one thing I could think about. See, in Matthew chapter 5, verses 38 and 39, it says, you have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, do not resist an evil person, but whoever slaps you on your right cheek, turn the other also to him. If you will, look in 1 Peter chapter 3. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verses 8 and 9. It says, to sum up, all of you, be harmonious, be sympathetic, brotherly, kind-hearted, and humble in spirit, not returning evil for evil or insult for insult, but giving a blessing instead. For you were called for the very purpose that you might inherit a blessing. So when my friend asked the question, why didn't I hit him back, I just said, do you know the story of Jesus? And he's like, yeah, what about it? So if you look at Jesus, if you will turn to Mark chapter 15. Mark chapter 15, here's a background of what's going on. Jesus is on trial. He's just been betrayed, and he's on trial. And in Mark chapter 15, verses 16 and 20, it says, the soldiers took him away into a place, and they called together a Roman court, and they dressed him in the purple, and after twisting a crown of thorns, they put it on him. And after they began to acclaim, hail, the King of the Jews, they kept beating him on the head with a reed and spitting on him and kneeling and bowing before him. And after they mocked him, they took the purple robe off of him, and they put his own garments on. And after they led him out to be crucified. That's an example of how sinless man being mocked and blamed and spat upon. This is the man with all authority. And then they lead him away to be crucified. And then Luke chapter 23, verses 34 and 35. But Jesus was saying, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Here we have Jesus on the cross, the most painful death back then. Nails through his hands, nails through his feet, crown of thorns upon him. And he's still saying, forgive them. So I tell my friend, I said, look at Jesus. He healed blind people. He made the lame walk. He took away sins. And even when he was dying, he never hit somebody back. So if the man with all authority has never hits back, why should I if I'm just a human who makes mistakes? See, as you go out through life, you need to realize that things are going to hit you, and it's going to leave you bruised, and it's going to leave you beaten. But God has your back, and there's no need for you to hit back. There's no need for you to feel like you have to take action, because God will take care of you. Think about these things as we go through the week.
Next, let's sing I'll Fly Away.